So, hi, how are you today? Bon appetit. Yeah, it's definitely lunchtime. So, it's a pleasure to meet you here in this beautiful place. My name is Anastasia Polomarchuk. I'm the lead IR specialist on the Robocash platform. Today, I will present such an inspiring topic, why Asian fintech has big prospects. And I will be glad to answer your questions after the presentation. Also, me and my colleague, we occupied a small booth not far from here. So if you have more questions or suggestions, we will be waiting for you there. So we can start now. Few words for those who are not familiar with us. Robocash is a fully automated investment platform for European investors. The platform started its journey with a small group of enthusiasts in 2017. And today we employ more than 30 people from different cities and countries. The platform is an integral part of the financial holding Robocash group, which comprises lenders from Europe and Asia. Currently on the platform, there are 6 originators, which offer consumer and business loans. And those who invest with us must know that we offer investment mainly in Asian markets, in Asian countries. So our investors often ask us, what are your next steps? Where is your business heading? And speaking of a business, I mean the group as a whole, the holding as a whole, since the platform is largely guided by the group plans. So our focus is to increase the market share in Asia, although we are working on ideas to go to other regions, but we'll talk about this next time. And here the question arises, why Asia? So first I want to ask you, please raise your hands who invest in Asian projects. Okay, not much. Anyway, so Asia has its own, is very attractive with its investment opportunities. But what is Asia for us? So it's far away, it's completely different culture, it has its own peculiarities of doing business. So there are many questions. But Asia, the main question is what drives Asian fintech development? Let's stop at top three factors. The first point is that Asia is reaching young people who are well versed in digital technologies. For example, the Philippines ranks among others, ranks among other leaders with average daily time spent online. On the other hand, there's still a low level of financial inclusion, although there has been some progress recently, and largely thanks to remote digital technologies, and there is potential for further penetration. And the third point is Singapore. It's a regional fintech hub. Singapore has a positive impact on large-scale expansion and also contributes to the creation of a single regional ecosystem. Also, there are other factors such as strong state support. For example, in Kazakhstan, recently they launched the digital program to improve the quality of life through digital technologies, and the government highly estimated the economic effect of this program. The next is the level of income and the debt burden of the population. On the one hand, in many Asian economies, they see better living standards for next generation. On the other hand, there's still a low level of income compared to developed countries. So it's a positive factor in terms of fintech lending, especially. And the last point is the pandemic. So we know that the pandemic boosted digital technologies. So these factors are not the only ones, but even they are enough to see that Asia has its potential for further digital development. And this potential is already setting certain trends, which I would like to dwell on. And also I would like to note the areas where Robocash Group already tried itself or planning to go. The first, we will start from the left side, alternative online loans. So the legal field of non-banking sector in the region is quite specific. For example, in Vietnam is almost absent. In the Philippines, they are quite loyal to such activities. And also in some countries, there is specific national color. For example, in Indonesia or in Malaysia. But at the same time, a regional feature is a growing demand for products in several areas, like salary loans is an actively developing segment, and state initiatives support its growth trend. Also, the COVID's impact has turbocharged other type of loans, the BNPL loans, or in other words, buy now, pay later products. Yes, and for example, again, in Kazakhstan, a prime example is the Kaspi system. It's a digital ecosystem that increased demand for BNPL services. What about Robocash Group? Our focus is to launch new products in key markets. In April, we opened a new online lending company called Credit Bar in Kazakhstan. And it's not presented on the platform yet. And we are planning to open another platform, another lending company in the Philippines. The next is micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And this segment is very important for Asian economies. For example, in the Philippines in 2020, such companies accounted to 97% of all enterprises. And more standard financial services and specific financial solutions appear on the market. A good example is supply chain finance. So we launched supply chain finance called Robocash, and we are monitoring the development of the product. The idea is that the vendor get their money for their products before the buyer receives them. Okay, so the third one is electronic payments. So this is also a growing segment in Asia as well. And cashless payments, they reached an impressive level. And electronic wallets also are gaining popularity in the region. In 2022, 50% in the Philippines, again, 50% of the total population became active users. And what about Robocash Group? We plan to launch an electronic wallet with transfer and payment opportunities. We are considering different options in the United Arab Emirates and in the Philippines. And e-commerce is an important segment for payment system development. In Kazakhstan, the number of active buyers exceeded 5 million people, and the population is 19 million people. So in the e-commerce segment, we are focusing on the development of the Robocash BNPL service. BNPL service is also an important segment of e-commerce. And we are working in partnership with leading marketplaces in the Philippines, like Lazada. Besides big projects, big areas, there are also other fintech areas like super apps. And a good example is the launch of instant loans by Grab. And also another vector is digital banks. There are both individual companies and also just simple online services of traditional banks. And here our main focus is to develop the UNA ecosystem. So this ecosystem will cover different needs from loans to cross-border transfers. And as digitalization advances, brokerage and digital banking is becoming more valuable asset. And finally, some areas like electronic medicine, green field, green area, green projects, and projects in the sustainable development. There is another vector of the Asian market. There are new fintech areas, and we don't exclude the opportunity to go there. In 2021, the group launched, entered in the e-pharmacy market. So we studied the market, and then we decided to close the project and to focus on financial services where we have expertise. So it was some kind of pilot project. Now we see that Asian trends, the range of these trends is literally off the charts. And many global fintech companies are already developing in these areas, like Play or Ant Group or Grab, and so are we. The next question is, what opportunities does the market offer to European investors? Experienced professionals, they can take a closer look at direct investments or stock market. And there is another option to participate in local fintech projects which work with intermediaries. And as practice shows, European P2P platforms can work quite well in this area, and Robocash is just one of those. So Asia arises interest and promises new horizons for reliable and profitable investments. What is the next step? So it's up to you. That's all for me. Thank you for your attention.
What is the main difference between Asian market and Europe market? Difference from the borrower perspective, maybe their habits. Are there any difference?
From the borrower perspective, yeah? Yeah, so when we go to a new market, of course, we analyze borrower behavior and some maybe specifics of the market. I think maybe there is a main difference. There is a big percent of unbanked population in Asia, so this is something that influences life a lot and their behavior as well. But we know that just people there are just different, so you may find different borrowers in other countries. But I think that the economic situation, it influences a lot. Yeah. But also, from another perspective, there are different APR ceilings. So yes, we also monitor these areas.
Investors, you mentioned that are coming from Europe or also Asia. Are they investing in China?
Investors. Investors from Europe. Yeah. Okay, thanks. So any other questions or comments, I will be somewhere there. Thank you.